See, Brock really, we never explored the depth of the character. Brock's character is intentionally very one-dimensional, but the tribal chief wasn't. What made the tribal chief so different is that at very strategic times we presented layers. And every time you thought you understood the tribal chief Roman Reigns, we showed you something different. And that's what made that character so breathtaking to watch develop in front of your very eyes. It's like it's like a child star that grows up in front of you.
Yeah.
And as much of a grown man as Joe Anoa'i, Roman Reigns obviously was, he grew up as the tribal chief in front of the audience. Every time you thought, we presented
He
him
became the tribal chief. He is the tribal chief, OTC.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, and there were things that he entrusted me with that I don't think any other person on the face of the planet knows about him. And whether it was a promo in front of an audience or whether it was one of the things backstage on the couch, and he's searching for that layer that he wants to present, and I'll just pull him aside and say, this. And he'll just look and go, got it. And that's it. I know, it's tapped into it. And you have to trust me to keep that between us and never repeat it under any circumstances, even on my deathbed. That goes to the grave with me. But to get that greatness out of somebody.
Oh, they really have to trust you.
And for a person that admittedly will have a reputation of being untrustworthy, there are things that I will take to my grave about a lot of different people that my own children don't know. Because that's the intimacy that I will have with people that I work with. And if you give me that vulnerability, I'll never betray it. And we will have a personal satisfaction and professional satisfaction of achieving greatness together that two other people can't match.
Yeah. Because it's so much deeper.
Oh, yeah, it has to be. And it goes both ways, by the way.
Sure.
It
has to.
Yeah.
It's reciprocal.
Yeah, it's a relationship.
Someone tells me something about themselves, I give it back.
Yeah.
I will say, well, let me tell you something about me. That's my equivalent to your story, so that I don't just understand or sympathize with that emotion, I empathize with it.
Right.
I truly understand where you're coming from, because here's a running joke that Steph and I have always had. For years, we'd see each other, usually in gorilla, hello, the obligatory hug, then the obligatory laugh between the two of us, right? That's just it, because we're laughing at ourselves and each other at the same time.
Because we're happy to see each other.
Very.
Yes.
Very. And here comes the question. One says to the other, so, get any psychotherapy lately? Right? And it's like, no, but I need it. And I go, yep, I need it too. Have you gotten it? Nope, don't have time. Yeah, you know what? Don't have time for it either. Oh, well, guess we got to figure it out all by ourselves. And that became the running joke for years between us.
Yeah.
Therapy? Now, need it? Yep. Get it? Nope. Okay.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's it. If I'm working with someone, it becomes a mutual therapy session, so that the depths of my stupidity or my vulnerability or my trauma. And you also know the heights of my happiness. And I know the same thing about you. So if we're going to go and try to achieve greatness together, there are no rules. It's uninhibited. I will say anything I can to you to get that out of you, so that when you look back on this 20 years later, you go, that was the most authentic portrayal I've ever given of this emotion, because that was a shoot within the skin of the character.
Which is always when it's the best.
Yeah.
When people say, well, they use the word fake, which I don't mind that word. Everybody hates that word, but I know it's fake, but that was real. That was real. That's when it's the best.
Yeah.
That's what they said about me and Paul. That they're really together. I know they've really got to be together. And we weren't, actually.
They made it happen.
Well, maybe. But it's such a gift to have that relationship with you, actually.
Well, the feeling is quite mutual, I assure you.
He's a very unique human being.
He really is the wise man.
No, he is.
That-
That's
that-
the annoying part.
Yeah.
But he wasn't so.
The
So
annoying
when
part.
you going back to that conversation, it's because I was trying to learn from you, but I wanted to learn what also didn't work. So when you would present everything as a solve, and here's what we do, and I'm like, and I'd poke holes in it, and you'd be like, oh yeah, but you could just ignore that part, and then I'd be like, but. And so, because I really wanted to understand, I was trying so hard to learn the psychology of the business from every aspect. And I had learned so much of it from my dad on the writing side. And I learned so much of it from Paul, ringside. I never understood at all the psychology of a match before he explained it to me.
Right.
And would take me through things and answer my questions, because I had so many questions. And that was what I was trying to do with you, is understand your psychology and how you would create all these ideas and how you knew which talents actually had it and who didn't. I mean, you weren't always right, but for the most part, you were. You saw things in people that nobody else saw. And when you kept saying it like, yes, no, this is the answer. And this and only this. And I'm like, no, but riff with me. Nope. This is it. It would frustrate me because I didn't feel like I was learning because you weren't giving me that at that time. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's just,
But that's why I got frustrated because you were bullshitting me and I called you out on it. I was like, would you just stop doing that?
It's a mindset that there are no problems, there are only solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there are problems and no solutions, you better find a solution or it's going to solve itself and not to your liking.
That's right. You won't have any control over it.
So I don't know.
You control the headline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever grown up around anybody who had any kind of control issues in life. But you either take control of the problem and turn it into a solution, or someone else will. Mm-hmm. And then you got to live with their decisions. Oh, God. Right?
Yep.
Or number two, the problem in and of itself will work itself out to become the solution because that becomes the trajectory of where it's going to go.